You be all in your feelings. I've been all in them trenches. Know they notice me flexing. All of my fitness. My head big, let it down, see me shining. My head big, let it down, see me shining. Talk, 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 talk. Talk, 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 talk. My head big. She call me Poppy. My head big. She call me Poppy. No, they notice me flexing. My head big, let it down, see me shining. My head big, let it down, see me shining. My head big, let it down, see me shining. My head big, let it down, see me shining. Talk, 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 talk. Only thing. Talk, 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 talk. Only thing. Only thing. Dang, 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 dang,
Hey guys, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Guys, we are having a book club meeting. I hope everyone is doing well. And we are in this book, Listen by Erica N. White. Guys, we are a week away from Christmas, and I know a lot of you guys are busy with your families. So I said, you know what? Let me just go ahead and let me just kind of go through a couple of things that I've noticed in the book, which I'm basically almost done with it, but um, I wanted to just give some just kind of overview opinions, and then also I found a interview that I thought was really, really interesting that I don't know if any of you have had a chance to see, not see, but I'm more than likely going to make this video available for, for on the channel. So, but you guys, any of you who are checking in, obviously have this exclusive at this moment, but it'll be on a premiere for Bougie Gang. So whenever this releases, maybe on Monday or later on today, uh, we can all chat in the comments about it. But in any case, this is Bougie Book Club, and we are um, still in the book Listen. Now, this book is not very long at all. Excuse me, guys. It's only, and this is all together. 92 pages. So not super lengthy. You can knock this out in just a couple of hours, if that much. Um, but the things initially, we've seen some YouTube streets literature, right? And coming from ebooks to quote unquote pamphlets, this is a real book. I ordered it off of Amazon. So, any of you who've purchased it, um, you purchased it off Amazon. I mean, this is like legit, right? So, there's a part here, Erica goes through a lot of guilt in her life. She's had a lot of disappointments, ups and downs, just like all of us. But there's a common thread that goes throughout her book, and she talks about God a lot. I kind of call it God guilt. I think that Erica, while still growing up, becoming a woman, getting older and older, or increasing in her maturity. And not to say that she's immature by any means. I'm just saying, as we all grow, gain our wisdom, kind of shed, sometimes maybe ways that are less mature. She's growing into being a woman, right? So I think that this book really does kind of depict her journey into the realization that she is becoming a woman, even though maybe altogether she's definitely not there yet, but she's having some awarenesses, and she is really trying her best to grow up. She has been married on 2 occasions in this book. She's got her one child, and it seems like she is on the cusp of getting ready to do some things that are going to lead her to where we find her out here on these YouTube streets. Um, she talked about on page 56, she said, "The internet can be ruthless. Everything I was called everything but the child of God when I lost my job as a police officer. Some of the comments were right. I was very I was very naive. I even turned around and made the same mistake twice. I didn't lose my job again behind someone, but I allowed someone who didn't care about me to eat off of my son and me. I had a conversation with a guy who's about 3 years older than me. I told him his mother must have raised him right because of the things he was saying to me. He told me it was his mom, and then a lot of it had to do with what he saw growing up. I told him that I didn't have it that easy. I was sheltered as a child. My mom had gotten pregnant with my oldest brother when she was in 8th grade. So maybe that played a big part in why I didn't see certain things. I told him that I had to buy all my lessons with no warning ahead of time. I believe that's why I She says, I believe that's why I'm so strong. I can wear pain like no other. There's strength in the most painful lessons. The same guy also explained he's never been in love before. He said the way this world is set up, he doesn't want that heartache. People appear to be genuine, loyal, and even godly, only to find out the total opposite. So I think that Erica really buys into titles, and Erica buys into people's storylines, if you will. If people out in the real world have storylines versus people on YouTube, um, I think she kind of really just buys into this whole storyline idea, and she gets super duper disappointed, which is to me really, really sad for Erica, because I think that, yeah, you have to be able to use your discernment, and you have to be able to understand that no matter what people tell you, you can't just go by what people tell you to make your decisions about not so much just who they are, but who you are with them and how you're gonna let them into your life. It's almost like she just buys into whatever story someone, um, feeds her, and then and it's really not her problem. And I think that as long as you continue to blame everyone else, but not own it, and look at sometimes the errors in your ways, even just sometimes trusting too much, you're going to do the same mistake over and over and over again. Anyway, let's listen to a really quick interview. I'm going to stop in between. You know how I do a reaction. So, we are going to look at this video. This video was put up back, let's see, way back in March of 2019. So this March, this interview will be 3 years old. And I think that this is probably somewhere around the time that she wrote her book. So let's go ahead, let's take a listen. And when you are watching this, comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. And we're going to go ahead and jump right in. And I'm going to just give my commentary as it goes along. Okay. So, all right, let's go.
Get right into the point. What made you write this book? Listen.
Well, I grew up in a household where everything was just quiet. Like I didn't have a
About you. Get right into the point. What made you write this book? Listen.
well, I grew up in a household where everything was just quiet. Like I didn't have a mom that, sat me down and told me like, look, if this happened, then this probably gonna happen later on down the line. Like she didn't speak to me about anything. Then my father, of course, he couldn't because he passed away when I was 11. So initially, like a lot of things just started happening in my life.
Okay, as someone who usually has a music bed under their videos, I mean, I'm not going to criticize too much, but it's extremely distracting. So, first things first, she says that her mom, we know this in the book that her mom had her, the passage I just read, her mom had her oldest brother in the 8th grade. So, her mom obviously was very young having children. And she said her dad died when she was 11 years old. So, lots of, you know, lots of young people experiencing very traumatic situations, even though having a baby typically isn't traumatic, but for an 8th grader, having her first child, like let's just say somewhere around 12, 13 years old, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And then also, depending on how much distance is between her and her brother, she has a relatively young mother who may be, inexperienced. So, was inexperienced at the time, I'm assuming.
Life that was unnatural, and it put me in a mind state to where it's like, okay, I cannot keep going through this. For instance, I was pressured into getting married when I was 21. I had a baby without marriage, and so we felt pressure. We went ahead and got married. I divorced him, and literally a year later, I met my second husband. And literally 4 months after we said I do, he left me for a nurse. So I had endured a lot of pain.
That's interesting. Wow. So she got married at 21, had a divorce, I guess, by 22. 22, she meets another guy, and then he leaves her for a nurse. I wonder if that brought back like shockwaves and a lot of like trigger bad memories when she and Damien were together, and Damien is really playing up the fact that Latoya was a nurse. I mean, he was playing up the nurse thing like crazy. And why Erica would stress the woman was a nurse unless she has some sort of feelings about this woman being a professional. Um, I don't know, but it's just interesting that life is retelling itself again. So she's got a boyfriend who she breaks up with, who's now dating a nurse, and had a husband who broke up with her and was dating a nurse. So nurses might not be some of the favorite people on her list. I don't know. You guys tell me.
Pain along the way, and I was like, look, something's gonna have to give. Initially, I was gonna write this book about 2 years ago. So I knew I was gonna write this book, but I knew that God had to give me something else to inspire people, which means that He was gonna have to put me in a situation to where I had to experience more pain relate to me. So last May I got divorced. Then I ran into these YouTubers, and I
Okay, before we get to that really quick, And I know she was probably nervous and maybe they had limited time to talk about the book, but it's really interesting how she feels that God would speak through her to other people by putting her in pain and misery. Guys, that is not the only way that God operates. God could operate through you by having you have blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings. Every lesson is not drenched in sorrow and misery and pain and misery. So I'm that's it's interesting to hear her perspective. She seems like such a positive person, but I think she has a very deeply rooted feeling um that that she's just meant to learn her lessons through pain and suffering, and that's not the way it always is. I mean, God does want us to be a little bit happy and give us our heart's desire and to have joy and love. It's not all about suffering.
I wanted to start my own YouTube channel. So I was paying all of these YouTubers. I was paying them, constantly paying them money. The guy that I had reached out to, he asked me what did I do for a living, and I said I'm a cop.
So she starts talking right here about wanting to have a YouTube channel, and she says that she was paying people to help her with her YouTube channel. So let's just run that back really quick cuz she's talking super fast, and this is pretty interesting.
Relate to me. So last May I got divorced. Then I ran into these YouTubers, and I wanted to start my own YouTube channel. So I was paying all of these YouTubers. I was paying them, constantly paying them money. The guy that I had reached out to, he asked me what did I do for a living, and I said I'm a cop. And so he was like, "Cool, really?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're all known for pranks. That's how they get their money, you know. So he asked me. He said, "Well, can we use your car to do a stage?"
So Chris Sales, Em and Vaughn, okay? And when she says last May, I'm assuming she meant May 2018, okay? Because this interview is happening March 2019.
Prank. And I heard the word stage because of me also collabing with him and doing stage pranks. I think it was a prank about some snakes, that he knew ahead of time and stuff. But it's the audience don't know that it's staged, but the people behind it know that it's staged. So yeah, after figuring out that it's really staged, and he said that he was going to use my car to do a stage prank with the other three guys, I was like, sure, stage prank, y'all pulling over each other, cool. Well, that's not what happened. When they got my car, they was in the middle of Houston traffic, pulling over real people.
Okay, so Vaughn, Chris Sales, I think a guy named Nairi. I'm gonna try and look it up while she's talking, so maybe I can show the article or the newspaper when this happened, and see if I can find some information on that to tell you what the officials said about this so-called prank.
And like they were telling people to get against the car, taking their IDs and stuff. I mean, of course they was telling them to. At the end of the video of or each person that they pulled over, they was telling them that it was a prank. The video altogether combined probably got like 64 million views. 3 weeks after that, Houston SWAT team came, knocked their doors down, guns pointed on them, took them out of jail, and I got fired.
Wow.
So,
Damn.
So when all of that stuff happened, and then it was all in the news, and it was just everywhere. It was on the BT Instagram page. It was everywhere. I got that call from my chief, and he didn't even ask me what happened. He was just like, turn in everything. They gave me a bad F5, So they gave me a dishonorable discharge. And in the state of Texas, that means that you can never be a police officer ever again. So I
Wow.
changed it to a general, which is not good and not bad. But in the meantime, it's caused me to not get another police job.
So how did that get into your book? How did that tie into your
well, that's why the back say
Mhm.
a journey to trust in God, because
journey.
these people, even with the situation at hand, even with me getting fired, and I mean, I have never seen so many hate comments on YouTube. I mean, they were telling me I was stupid, I was the world's dumbest cop, and I'm just looking for clout and money when I didn't get money from either one of them. They got money from me.
Yeah, you were paying
So, so along the process, I became even more depressed because last year it was
So wow, she was paying these guys who are known YouTubers, paying them money to run pranks, and used her police car, and she ended up losing her job. Like, this is just this is this is crazy. So yeah, absolutely. Um wow. Anyway, okay, let's just keep listening and hear what else is said on this.
just family turned their back on me. The one I had married left me for another woman. So, you know, and then now that had happened. So it was like I didn't get enough time to process everything.
Wow.
So it was like one factor after another. I'm like, wait a minute. So I know that it has to be a reason why God is allowing all this to happen. So I'm trusting the process. So that's why I put everything in this book.
Wow.
To encourage people, to warn them. So I would say that my book is a warning. So I wrote this book to inspire not just young girls, but young men as well.
How can a person purchase this book?
You can get it for Amazon. All you gotta do is just type in listen. Make sure y'all put the little exclamation mark.
So there's an exclamation mark behind listen. Listen with an exclamation mark.
Yes, the ebook format is $4.99. You can even get it in the paperback, and I think the paperback's like $14.99. Autographed copy is $20.
All right. So hopefully you'll continue in prayer, and God will lead you in your next steps.
By the grace of God.
We expect to hear great things of what God has done in your life in this situation. Thank you for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Wow, guys. Pretty action-packed little 5 minutes there, huh? Now let's run to this. This is let's see if this is what they're talking about. And we know Chris Sales. Chris Sales is the father of Queen Nija's oldest child. But let's take a look at this. Is this the video here? All right, let's see if this is the video. All right, let me share the screen. Okay, just one second. I'm just going to share this screen, and this should give us some more, a little more detail. I don't know if I'm going to find the news story, but I may have. Let's just see. Let's see what's what. This is all has to do with Erica, but let's see. This says it's courtesy YouTube, Nair and Jalen. So let's see. And if you don't know, so Nair and Jalen are pretty popular YouTubers also. And we remember Jalen, you might have remember meeting Jalen or seeing Jalen when Ming had her birthday party and they were doing the Savage Dance, Strong Mommy Chrissy, and there were two other ladies there. One of them was Jalen. Okay. So let's see this. I wonder if this is the video. YouTube pranksters accused of impersonating Houston police. So we know sidebar.
If someone says it's just a prank, officers say there's nothing to laugh about and to call them immediately.
Turn the lights on.
Take a look at this video that surfaced online. The driver switches on flashing lights and quickly gets behind a vehicle. In seconds, the car in front pulls over and the driver reaches for a badge.
Get out, grab the bag.
In other cases on the video, drivers had their vehicles inspected by the group.
Check the car.
Is that a weapon? What's this right here?
Say, hey, hands back up on the wall. Hands back up. Hands back up.
During the 15-minute video, around 10 people are pulled over. Each time it ends the same way. People are told it's just a joke.
This is funny, man.
Houston police don't find it funny and identified a victim and later arrested 4 people from the video. Each suspect appeared in court this morning. Devontae Sullivan, Christopher Sales, Nair Price, and Justin Denson face a felony impersonating of a public servant charge.
It's against the law, and it is something that we take very seriously.
If you do see the lights come on behind you and you pull over and you're concerned that this may not be an actual officer, police say don't be afraid to pull over and then get the name of the officer when they come over and then call. You want to make sure that the vehicle is marked and also has lights, but just because the marking's there and the lights doesn't mean it's an actual officer.
It's always important to
Okay. Wow. Right. Okay. So, just scrolling down to the bottom where it says in July, we introduced you to Sales, who was accused of pulling people over and impersonating a Houston police officer for a video for his YouTube channel. He faces felony charge of impersonating a public servant in this case, and he was using. So, Erica finds herself in
try to
trouble a
determine whether or not
lot.
the officer. If you see someone in
Okay,
plain
a
clothes,
lot.
that could be a red flag.
Even if the person tells you it's a joke,
We had to get you, man.
officers say don't laugh it off, call police immediately. While this ended without someone getting hurt, officers say it could have ended very differently, which is why they say each suspect now.
Wow. So Devontae Sullivan, so we're assuming that that's Vaughn from Em and Vaughn. Nair Price, that's Nair and Jalen. Justin Denson, I don't know who that is. And Chris Sales has a baby with Queen Naija, okay, of Queen and Clarence, okay? Um, okay, okay. And she was paying these guys to help her with her YouTube channel. Okay. At a certain point, Erica has got to grow up, but she has found herself Vaughn, who is with a lady named M. I'm not sure if that's his wife or not, but there's a channel called Em and Vaughn. And Em and Vaughn are good friends with Damian Prince and Bianca, who Damian Prince is the son of Damian Cryer. Like Erica has been loosely associated in this circle for a long time. And I feel like Erica seems to kind of run this narrative that trouble seems to find her. But I don't know, like what you would think. Do you think that Erica finds the trouble? I mean, it's very interesting to me that, she's always kind of a victim. I don't know. But listen, as you read, it's interesting. I mean, it's she's a very conflicted young woman, and she knows that there's a right way to live. And I think that she wants to live a certain way. She wants a certain life. I think she wants all of the fairy tale things that a lot of us women want at some point in life. And I think the way to get it is to just go out and do it. I think that Erica comes off as somebody who is determined and wants to do the work. But at the end of the day, you got to just do the work. You can't keep blaming other people because life doesn't go the way that you want it or think that you need for it to go when you aren't always doing the right things. Because we see Erica right now who says that she's pregnant with her third baby with this man Rick and Mucker, but it's kind of suspect whether she is pregnant with Rick and Mucker's baby or not. We really don't know. And Rick and Mucker says that he wants to have nothing to do with this baby until a paternity test. And word on the street is that her and Damian Cryer were still fooling around. So you guys tell me what you think because it's very interesting. We don't know. We don't know, and it's very interesting. Um, I'm I, look, I'm one of these people. I guess I would be. I'm not going to say I don't think that they are above still messing around at that. the two of them could possibly have still been seeing each other while Damien was with Latoya and Erica was with Rickon. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I think that she could have done it all day long. Um, do I know her? No, but I know what I've seen and I know what I saw in this that I read in this book. And she talked about this situation with Chris Sales and the poor decision to give up her police vehicle that she is under oath to do the business of that city and gave it to someone to do pranks when that is the property of the municipality that you are working for and it's a trusted vehicle that is used to help patrol and police the city that you were working for and that was not the use of the vehicle and lost her job so and cannot be a police officer in the city in the state of Texas. So yeah, I mean that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Another reason why I'm saying it's also a big deal is because in the forward she makes a note that she was the first African American to become a police officer, first female African American to become a police officer in her area. But you're also that same one who set the standard, the one who broke through the glass ceiling of becoming a black female police officer, also made a huge mistake by loaning out her police equipment, her police vehicle to non-police officers to do mayhem on the streets of one of the largest cities in America. And, so anyway, guys, look, we will continue this conversation at least one more time regarding this book. Listen, if you are reading it, you're in the book club, go ahead, comment down below. This video will premiere on Love Lies and Lace Fronts. So let's talk about it. I mean, Erica's got a lot going on right now. Damien Cryer has a lot going on right now. Are you watching these channels? Are you interested in these stories? Did you know all of this was happening? Let's get the conversation popping down in the comments. Let me know what you think. And if you are not subscribed to this channel, you are new here. What are you waiting for? Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. The live chats and premieres are always subscriber mode only. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Also, hit your notification bell so that you can be notified every single time I post another video or go live. And don't forget to like this video on your way out. Thank you so much for coming through. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Bye, guys.